Welcome to the Daily Plunge. We are in the book of Genesis, chapter 24, verses 28 through 67. So after the servant encounters Rebekah, finds out, who she is, Rebekah runs back to her mother's house, and slick old Laban, her brother, comes out to eagerly to welcome the stranger. And he sees the bracelets on her wrist, a ring in her nose, and I think dollar signs are going through his head. So while the man is in the house, visiting with her father, Bethuel, and the rest of the family, enjoying their hospitality, Laban is outside unloading the camels. And he's giving them straw and feed, and he gives water to the servant and all his men to wash their feet. And the servant explains that he is sent by Abraham, this wealthy man who lives across the desert, right? And that his wife gives birth to Isaac when she's 90 years old. And imagine how, the family must have just had their mouths wide open as they hear this incredible story of this miracle birth that God has given to Abraham and Sarah. And he tells them, Abraham made me swear to get a wife from his family, and it seemed like an impossible task. How am I supposed to find these people? And the Lord who is faithful, Abraham told me, the Lord is faithful, and he will send an angel ahead before you. And so, he shows up, the servant does, was this possible brides list. If there's a possible bride, she must welcome me, give me a drink of water, and then water 10 thirsty camels with 30 gallons of water each. And so he asked, so will will she come with me? And I worship the Lord who guided me here, the servant says. I recognize that the Lord had answered his promise to Abraham, and he answered my prayers that I would meet just the right young woman. And so will she go with me? And Laban, the brother, and Bethuel, her father, they respond, well, if this comes from the Lord, then we're not going to stand in the way of it. So but they say, well, we want to just stick around for another 10 days. And the servant says, don't make me linger. I've got to get back. And so they turn to her, will you go? And Rebekah says, I will go. I want to talk here about who Rebekah is. Let's take stock of who she is. First, she's physically a strong woman, but she's a strong-willed woman. And we know that she's beautiful. She's going to take Isaac's breath away. And she's adventurous, that she's willing to travel across the desert, to go meet, across the wilderness, to go meet her groom, whom she hasn't even seen a picture of him. There's no dating app to help her see what he looks like. So she's going sight unseen. And they travel, but she goes. And when they get there, she sees him coming out of the field, and she asks the servant, who is that guy? He is a handsome prince of the desert. And it says that he was smitten with her, that they get married, they consummate the marriage, and that Isaac was comforted after his mama's death. So he's a bit of a mama's boy, and that'll come into play as we go through these stories. Hey, thanks, friends. Have a blessed day.